Hi, I'm Joe Paiva, and this is a small video explaining some of the services that we can furnish when you have speakers who are going to be presenting either live or from home with pre-recorded video at your virtual meetings. So there are many ways to have your speakers participate um, um, virtually. They can present live on the webinar interface. They can present a pre-recorded video. One of the reasons we think pre-recorded videos make sense for a lot of conferences is because you have longer term presentations. It's one thing if you have a quick changeover every 15 or 20 minutes to another speaker. It's another thing if somebody schedules to speak for 2 or 4 or even 8 hours. And so we recommend recording it in 30-minute chunks or breaking it up into 30-minute chunks so that the people who are watching from home on the internet get a chance to stretch every 30 minutes, even if it's for just 2 or 3 minutes while we switch over to the next video. It's also possible to do some Q&A or some announcements if your speaker is available to talk live or has sent you announcements that you can make. And then when the speaker's presentation is over or during a long break, such as before lunch, if the speaker is available to do live Q&A as well. So we always work with the speakers where we have them do a test and we tell them we need to make sure that your computer's camera and microphone are up to the task. Even if they are, however, sometimes the location, especially of the camera, may not be that great because when you have the laptop aligned at a certain angle so you can read it well, it may not be the right angle for the camera to photograph the speaker properly. So the external camera may be necessary. It's an internet camera that we provide. If need be, we can provide various kinds of microphones, and if need be, we can provide various kinds of lighting. We also want to listen to the room noise. How much noise is coming from the heating and ventilation system? How loud is the computer fan, disk drives, and other kinds of sounds? Assuming they're recording in an environment that's not a studio per se, uh, obviously there's always going to be the opportunities for sound to drift in, and we'd like to take a listen to see if there's anything we can do to help your presenter make a more pleasing presentation for your audience. We also want to look at the lighting because you need to look somewhat normal and yet not look like you're badly lit. You don't want to look like you just popped out of a dark alley. And you also don't want to be washed out because the lighting is too strong. One of the reasons that can happen is there's a window right across and there's bright sun streaming in. Something else that can happen is there's a window open behind the speaker that causes the camera to stop down, as we say, and make the speaker look dark. So we want to look at those things, figure out adjustments to the room. You will notice that we have existing lighting that already is in the room, that's in the ceiling lighting, but then we've added an external, what's called a soft light, ahead of me and to the left slightly, so that even though I still have shadows on my face isn't evenly lit, kind of making it flat. Want to make sure it's well lit, no harsh shadows. The other thing is to check out the backgrounds. You notice here that we chose a painting and a plant. Doesn't have to be, it could be a blank wall, but when it's a blank wall, you need to make sure it's not too light or too dark. So what we call something in the medium range of reflectivity, but also one that doesn't blend in and make the speaker's clothes or face or skin tones or hair disappear. So here we're going to do a little demonstration where we're going to take some of the extra features like camera, microphone, and lighting out so that you can kind of see this is almost a worst case situation, but just show you some of the impacts of providing the additional equipment that we've provided here. So this is an example where we are shooting using the camera built into the laptop and using the microphone that's built into the laptop and using the ambient um, lighting in the room without the additional lighting that you saw just prior to this. So now what I've done is added the microphone so that you should notice an improvement in sound quality. And so this is one of the incremental steps that we want to show you for the demonstration. This particular microphone is really good at picking up my voice, but cutting out the ambient sounds in the room. So I'm going to stay quiet for just a few seconds. So because the air conditioner is running, but you probably won't hear it, and we're not doing anything fancy to remove that sound. All right, so the next thing that we'll do is turn on the additional lighting that we had to remove the some of the color imbalance and some of the shadowing on my face. And so that's the next phase that I wanted to demonstrate. And now we'll go from there back to the regularly scheduled video where we'll also have the webcam working, which is what I did before I came into this demonstration phase. So now we're back to all the features again, and we'll continue the presentation doing it the way we think it should be done under ideal circumstances. So some of the services, we can evaluate your test videos, and it may be more than one, or your speakers' test videos, I should say. We make recommendations on how to improve what they already have, and then we can provide needed equipment. We charge for this service, but the speaker, if they really like what it is we offer, can either buy it off of us or we can provide the sources from which they can buy them. But the most important thing is that we edit the video, because the hardest thing when you have a long presentation, whether that's an hour or an entire day, is that they start off on the wrong foot sometimes. They have a word stumble, their tongue gets twisted. Sometimes they hit the advance key twice by mistake. And figuring those things out sometimes means having to back up and restart from the beginning. But when we edit, all the speaker has to do is say, well, I just made a mistake. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to back up to the previous video. I just missed a slide. I'm going to restate that sentence, whatever it is. And as long as they make sure they're properly communicating it in the editing process, we can remove them to make them a much more professional presentation. So this slide kind of summarizes the main parts of what I just said, but we can also do something to remove background noise if there's excessive background noise that's consistent, like air conditioner hum. We can actually instruct the presenter on how to record that sound so that we can remove it. We can also do some changes, not a whole lot, with things like color balance. The main thing for the speaker is that they spend less effort, it's less stressful, and they can get to a more professional product in a more natural way. So to conclude, whatever you do, whether it's live or pre-recorded, we can provide your speakers services to make sure that they project the best video and the best sound possible to your participants. Good luck with conducting your conference. We can provide you a whole host of other services. Contact us if you need help. Our general contact information is in the left-hand column, but you also see my personal contact information if you'd like to chat. Thank you again, and we hope that you will at least consider these improvements, even if you don't use our services.